Imagine walking through Times Square, but instead of neon ads and Broadway lights, you see a giant red banner with a hammer and sickle waving in the wind. No Coca-Cola signs, no McDonald's, no flashy billboards, just portraits of Lenin and public announcements in monotone speakers. Welcome to Alternatevers. Today we ask a terrifying and fascinating question. What if the Soviet Union had built New York City? What if capitalism never reached Manhattan, and instead Stalin's vision of urban control shaped the most iconic city in the West? Before we dive into this mind-bending alternate timeline, hit that like button and subscribe to enter deeper into the Alternatevers. You won't believe how different the world might have looked. Let's begin. In this reality, the Cold War never truly heated up because it never had to. The Soviets didn't invade America militarily. They won ideologically. Post-World War II, the U.S. government collapses in economic turmoil. The Soviet-backed workers' movement seizes power, and the United Socialist States of America is born. Its crown jewel? A reimagined, state-planned metropolis, New York grad. The skyline would still reach high, but it wouldn't be glass and chrome. Imagine the Empire State Building rebuilt in raw, brutalist concrete, with red stars carved into its sides. No shimmering Art Deco, no tourist photos. This is a tower of power, surveillance, and order. Where we once had steel-framed beauty, now rises monolithic slabs, tall, gray, expressionless. The buildings are not meant to dazzle. They're meant to dominate. Windows are small, evenly spaced, designed to keep people inside and light out. In this alternate New York, Times Square becomes Lenin Square, a massive intersection lined with synchronized, state-run LED panels broadcasting national propaganda, poetry from socialist poets, and updates on tractor production in Iowa. Where once stood ads for Broadway, now sit statues. One of Lenin, one of Marx, and another more recent of the Supreme Secretary of the Soviet States. And the lights? Oh, they're still there, but no color. Just red floodlights bathing the streets in permanent revolution. Now, picture Central Park. Gone is the open wilderness, the joggers, the musicians, the endless green. Instead, a People's Assembly Park, geometrically manicured, filled with hard angles and stone paths. Speakers on poles play patriotic music. There's a large amphitheater for state speeches, cultural performances, and public trials. No street vendors, no dogs, no romance under trees. The subway? It still exists, but it runs on a fixed, nationalized schedule. No ads. Instead of performers, you hear a radio announcer reading 5-minute socialist manifestos between stations. Surveillance cameras track every movement. And don't even think of skipping your fare. Biometric gates scan your ID card, which is linked to your productivity score. Wall Street? Forget it. That becomes Karl Marx's economic planning center. Not a place of chaos and speculation, but of numbers, order, quotas. Instead of stock tickers, screens display national wheat reserves, steel output, and housing quotas for Detroit. Banks? There's one. Just one. And everyone has the same savings. None. Wealth is not stored, it is shared. The people? Purposeful. No one runs, no one hustles. There is no dream to chase. There's only the plan. Children wear uniforms from age 5. Every week, schools organize collective contribution days, where students clean the streets, read aloud from Engels, and report any individualist behavior in their homes. The Statue of Liberty? Gone, dismantled. In its place stands a new statue, the worker and the motherland, an immense concrete figure of a steel worker raising a flag, with a female figure beside him holding the Constitution of the Soviet states. Ferries take visitors to the base, but only citizens in good standing may go. Tourism? Only foreign delegations and cultural exchanges. Everything is state-guided. Hotels are converted housing units. No private airbins. No skyline bars. No Empire State rooftop selfies. Now, let's talk architecture more deeply. New York becomes a showcase of Soviet modernism. Massive residential blocks, each housing up to 10,000 citizens, stretch across Brooklyn and Queens. Identical in layout, each block includes a clinic, a school, a cafeteria, and a state-run bookstore. Manhattan loses its eclectic charm. There's no brownstones, no lofts, no street-level galleries. Just planned, purpose-driven design. Each district has a function: living, producing, governing, or re-educating. But not all is uniform. In some elite areas, like Red Manhattan Central, the party elite live in upgraded units. They get hot water daily, private balconies, and real coffee. Rumors of black market jazz and imported French films circulate, but are never confirmed. Underground clubs still exist, not for profit, but for rebellion. They play forbidden American weck and whisper of freedom. But surveillance is tight. Drones patrol rooftops. Microphones in taxis. Every apartment has a service node. Officially, it regulates temperature and fire safety. Unofficially, it listens. Crime? Almost none on the surface. Dissent is punished with relocation to re-education zones outside the city. You disappear from your building. Your photo is erased from the hall. No police chases, no headlines, just silence. The arts exist, but under control. Broadway is now the People's Theater. All scripts are pre-approved. Musicals celebrate unity, sacrifice, and glorious 5-year plans. No comedy about politicians. No personal drama. Now let's talk food. Food is rationed. Each borough has central nutrition points where citizens collect weekly portions. Bread, cheese, protein substitutes, beets. Dining out is rare and regulated, reserved for party celebrations and state marriages. Restaurants become cafeterias. Cafes become ideological reading rooms. But beneath the surface flavors survive. In the corners of old buildings, grandmothers still roll dough by hand. A whisper of dumplings here, a smuggled Cuban coffee there. New York resists, quietly. And what about culture? The Yankees? Gone. The team is nationalized. Cheering is allowed, but only in chants. No merchandise, no mascots, no private boxes. Madison Square Garden becomes a multi-use arena for state rallies, rhythmic gymnastics, and occasionally chess tournaments with international guests. Technology thrives, but only in specific forms. Phones exist, but calls are monitored. Social media? Banned. Everyone has a state tablet where you can read approved news, check your work shifts, or report infrastructure issues. AI is advanced, mostly in surveillance, city planning, and psychological modeling. It predicts unrest, flags individualist tendencies. It's not a tool, it's a mirror. Art lives in basements. Graffiti marks the edge of the boroughs, coded in symbols. Subway doors are scratched with poetry, and some still climb to rooftops, looking out at the red sky, dreaming of another future. That is what might have been a New York not of dreams and capitalism, but of order, ideology, and silent resistance. What if the Soviets had built New York? Now you've seen it. But be warned, some timelines aren't as far as they seem. If you enjoyed this journey through twisted reality, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your own what-if ideas in the comments. Welcome to Alternatevers. We'll see you in the next timeline. Welcome to Alternatevers. We'll see you in the next timeline.